Hi, welcome to Web Design Videos, the first video, Visual Research and Site Structure. This is a list of suggestions how you should use this video. The notes for this video can be found here at this URL is case sensitive. I have loaded the URL here, as you can see. You don't need to worry about the HTML stuff. Those are really basic stuff. Technically, you start here in step 1, okay? So the story is, somebody approached you to ask you to build a website for the First Presbyterian Church of Singapore, Tennessee, USA. Okay, they don't know what they want. They want you to build a website using Bootstrap framework, and you want to, charge them for some money and things like that. So how are you going to go about doing this? Okay, so just a case study so that you can follow the same process for other things. So the first thing is you want to okay, so since this is a case study, I'm going to show you what the output would look like first. Okay, at the end of the day, your final output is going to look like this: a completed website. Okay, it's Bootstrap enabled. It has 2-level navigation here. The navigation links are not working because we don't want to finish all the pages, but okay, they are not working. They are just hashtag links. Okay, but they can work if you duplicate the pages, and it's Bootstrap framework, so if you move them to some smaller resolution, they are going to collapse from 6 columns to 3 columns, and navigation changes, and from 2 columns to 1 column. If you go even smaller, they're going to become 2 columns, like on a phone, what it look like. Okay. All right. So this is the final output we agree with, we produce for the client. So it's a Bootstrap framework design. How do we reach there? Right. The whole process may take at least 10 hours to reach there. How do we reach there? Okay. So before we even start, we want to create a list of subfolders. Because it's such a long process, we want to create those subfolders. Okay, so in your C drive, in your C temp, so in your C drive temp folder, we are going to create a new folder. So you right click new folder and call this folder web_design_2024. Okay, web design 2024 subfolder, and inside this subfolder we're going to keep all the process. So we're going to create a series of subfolders. Okay, I have some notes here that help us to do that. Okay, so we're going to create some subfolders real quick. Control C, come over here, right click new folder, Control V. Control C to copy, right click new folder, Control V. I'm sure you know Control C, Control V by now. Okay. Or you can right click copy. As you can see, I name it in a certain way that they will appear in sequence in the file explorer. And if I want to add things, like after 14, I want to add a 15 for intermediate steps, I can do so. So you may want to think about that when you name your folders. Create a project, you want to name them so they appear in the sequence that you want to work. So it's easier for your brain, and just save your work. Okay, so these are all the folders we need. All right, let me just go back. Okay, let's go back and make it bigger. So we created the folders. All right. So these are the create folder information here. We created the folders. So the next thing you want to do is you want to talk to your client. Okay. So talk to your client. They want to build a website. Obviously, they don't know what the website looks like. They don't know what they want. Normally, they do not know. They cannot visualize it. So what you do is normally you go to some websites that have a lot of example sites. For example, unmatch.com, unmatchstuff.com. And go to gallery, look at say church religion, what kind of websites people may see. Find a couple of different designs. Hopefully I didn't click on anything that the link break. If the link break, the something bad may happen. Okay, this is not good. All right. So if the link breaks, they go to a place that is not a real site, that is not good. I have no control over that. So let's say you like this, okay? You can do a print screen capture it, and then cut out the image for reference. Or you like this one. And you can, this is a pretty decent site, right? Responsive, nice. Okay, you can do a screen capture it and then save it as a JPEG file, show your client. Or you can even look at some other, categories. Government site are pretty nice, Let's say you look at I'm a bit worried that the link breaks. Let's look at Homeland Security. Okay, let's say you like this design, right? You can always come over here, do a screen capture and capture the design. Okay, so I don't have time to do all the capturing or else my video will be really long. So let's show you what I did. Okay, so I'm going to download all my Visual Research. Okay, I'm going to download here. It's going to take a while. Okay, open this. So it's a bunch of files. If you double click on the zip, it's a bunch of files that you did. So drop them into example 10 Visual Research. Just press Shift key to select everything. Drop them here. Let's look at what we have inside. Okay, so these are all the Visual Research you did. There are 9 of them, as you can see. I named them. Okay, so this is the first one. Okay, so you show your client, hey, do you like this one? And then this is the second half of the first one. And then this is if the first one becomes responsive, it becomes smaller, or it looks like on a phone or something. And then this is the bottom of the first one. So that's the first. I have like 5 captures of the first one. Let's look at the second one. So let's say this is the second one. It's not responsive, just one full page. You can explain to your client. This is the third one. And this is the bottom of the third one. Screen captured. This is the fourth one. And this is the... Okay, let me make them smaller. This is the fourth one, and this is the bottom of the fourth one. Fourth one is responsive, what it looks like when you get or it become on the phone. This is the fifth page, and then the bottom of the fifth, and more fifth. number 6, bottom of number 6, number 7, okay, different pages of number 7 actually look slightly different because 7 has an opening screen, non-scrolling opening page, and then subsequent pages are different. Number 8, scroll down, number 8 and number 9, and the bottom of number 9. Okay, so you show your client all the designs and you talk to them. Hey, what do you think? Which one do you like? So maybe they have to go back to talk to their session or something, or maybe they can make a decision on the spot. So in the end, they decide, oh, I like number 9. Okay, I like the color black, which kind of a weird choice, but you say, okay, fine, you like black, but okay, so we like this design. So they say they like this design after they look at all your visual research, screen captures. You don't want to show them the link, because the last thing you want is having a meeting with them, you click on the link and they go to a website that the link broke, and then something bad is shown. You don't want that, because you know how this works when you have broken links. So you want to do screen capture, show it to them. And so they chose 9. Great. Then you talk to them about their organization and all that. And after you talk to them about the organization and all that, they say, hey, you have to go back and come up with a site structure. Okay. So probably this is the time that you need to talk about salary and pay. Okay, you like how many hours you need for your website. Let's say you need 40 hours to build this website, and you say you're worth around $50 per hour, so that would be $2,000. And probably you will need to come up with a contract with them. Hey, to build this Bootstrap framework, 20 pages, 40 hours of my work, $2,000, you have to pay $1,000 upfront and $1,000 when it's finished. If you need maintenance, and then we can talk about maintenance contracts. Okay, so this is the time you talk about how much it will cost to build this, because your time is important and precious. After that, probably at the same time you talk about the site structure. So I've already built a site structure, so let's just save the site structure. Save link as. Right click save link as into CTEM Web Design 2024 Church 11 site structure. Save it here. So let's see what the site structure looks like if I open this in Notepad++. Okay, so this is your church. In the main section, these are the pages. As you can see, you can simply achieve this by drop-down menu. As you can see, that was the final drop-down, right? And each link is a page, so it's around roughly 20 pages you build for them with dummy text, lorem ipsum. They have to fill in the content, so you better warn them that, hey, your people have to work to fill in the content, because I don't know what you want. And then there are some direct links to link to the respective pages. Okay, and so on and so forth. So you come out of the structure. By coming out of the structure, you know how many pages they need, you know how much work is needed, and how much effort you need to put in to do that. So you can quote them a price. And don't start work until you get paid half. Okay, don't ever start work, because sometimes they cannot make a decision, and you started work, they in a meeting in the church, they overthrown the decision, and then they cannot pay you. That's not very nice for anybody. So make sure you get paid half at least before you start work. Okay. So you say, hey, it takes 40 hours of my work. It costs me $50 an hour. That's $2,000. So you have to pay $1,000 first. Okay, before we even move on. Write a contract, a simple one, so that don't start work without pay. So okay. So since they since they approve the structure, make sure they approve the structure before you do work, and they like the design. They like the design number 9. light design number 9. So it's time to work a color palette for them. Okay, so you ask them to approve the color. Okay, so the color palette is here. I have already finished the color palette. I'm just going to show you what it looks like. I'm going to save it in Church 12. Okay, just come over here, save link as, save into Church 12 color palettes. And as you can see, it's a zip file because you don't want to put a PSD file on the internet. The browser doesn't know what to do with it. So let's just open this in a new window. Right click, open in the new window, and you can drag this PSD file here. Okay, and then you can just double click on it to open in Adobe Photoshop. So how do we create these color palettes? If you look at the example site, if you like the color, technically you can use Magic Wand in Photoshop to actually pinpoint them. Okay, and then to draw this, you can go to View, Show, Grid. Okay, to make a grid. But this grid is not really exactly what I use. What I used was, if you go to Edit, Preferences, Guides, Grid, and Slices. So I need the grid to be pixels, 25 pixels, one subdivision, this color, 25, 1, this color, pixels. Okay, so as you can see, once you have this, you can use a rectangle to draw rectangles and use Magic Wand to pick the color in the photograph or somewhere that you actually like and create a color palette. Okay, so this is a simple color palette file. I'm sure everybody know how to draw rectangles. I'm not going to go into detail how to draw rectangles. So let's say you have the color palette later, you like the color, you want to copy them the color. What you can do is you have a text file. You have a text file. You can actually just use Magic Wand. Sorry, eyedropper. Just use eyedropper tool, not Magic Wand. Just use eyedropper tool to eyedrop the color. You become a foreground color. You can use the same eyedropper tool. Sorry, not Magic Wand. Same eyedropper tool to pick colors from photographs that goes well. Load it into Photoshop and do that. So you can do a Ctrl+C. You can get a color that you created. Ctrl+C. Eyedropper. Click on foreground. Ctrl+C. Ctrl+C. Ctrl+V. Okay, so you have a series of colors here. Then you can save the color for future use. So this is how a final color palette should look like using grids. Okay, and draw rectangles so it looks really good. You can get similar things in Lowe's, but they are on books. That's all. That's how they are created. So we have that. Okay, let me close this. And you should create a color palette looking like this in your this folder. Okay, so of course, so you settle the contract with your client, you get your first half of pay, after you show them the visual research and site structure, you even created a color palette, And the next thing we are going to do is we are going to create sketches. Okay, I think I should do that in the next video, because this video is getting way too long. That's not good. So the next video we are going to talk about how to give users sketches and all that. Okay, but before we even go there, I want to talk a little bit about using Bootstrap framework is not the only way of building a website for people. Okay, there are a lot of other options. For example, obviously, the first one is Bootstrap framework. Okay, use Bootstrap framework. We design from scratch. This is what we are doing here. Okay, so this is just one of the options. Sometimes maybe the client does not want that. They want to do WordPress, which is a content management system, okay, which is easier to set up real quick, but you need certain maintenance later. Or the client may want to just buy a Bootstrap framework template. And just change. So they are immediately you look at there are three options of looking at a website. Okay, which option to use? It depends. Okay, depending on what the client needs and all that. But for us here, what we are doing is just we are trying to learn how to build a Bootstrap framework website from scratch, design from scratch. Okay, so that's what we're doing here. We are not doing the other two options. Okay, but this is not the only way of doing building a website. There are always other options to consider. Okay. All right, that's a good place to stop. So in the next video, we are going to talk about sketches, show the user the sketches, how to get photographs and all that. Okay. All right, good place to stop. Thanks for watching. See you later. Bye.